do not sleep on XDC. Do not be the type of person who is like, XDC is not doing anything as far as price. XDC, the rest of the market is pumping. XDC is not doing jack squat. XDC is just trading sideways. Let me tell you something. I said it once. I'll say it again. And this is coming from a guy, yes, who made decent money in 2021 with SHIB, right? 8K to 88K. You guys know the story. But there's something to be said about that. There's something to be said, not just about that, but in regards to assets that do consolidation and do it for at least 6 months straight. Now, we've seen this for quite a bit of time with XDC, dating all the way back to my recollection, even before last summer, right? It's been hovering around this 2.8, 2.9 area, 3 cent area, so on, right? It's been consistently that. To me, that is good. That is strengthening this. And I feel as though that this is just creating a pressure cooker effect. When we get this utility run, I'm telling you flat out, XDC is going to be huge. And then people will be like, all right, that's what was going on. I'm not a fortune teller or anything. I base it on statistics, data based off of other particular projects and so on. And that is consistent. Look more into projects that traded sideways for the longest time and see for yourself how huge that can be, especially going to a true bull run. Pardon your own research. Don't believe me. Like I said, look more into it. All right. So many times here at CTN, we talk about, this whole thing of the R3 quarter bridge with XDC, how huge it is. Remember you guys heard me basically state that? Here is why it is so huge. All right, let's jump into that. So, shout out to Crypto Ready. He does a lot of particular, short videos. I'm glad that he's doing a little bit more in regards to some, written graphs and so on. It says why XDC will take all the money. Well, I don't know about all the money, but there's going to be a lot to it in regards to the trade sector, right? R3, right? I keep mentioning like R3 is huge. Why is it huge? Just like it says, more than 90% of all the banks in the world use R3. When we talk about that R3 XDC bridge, that's why it's huge, because about roughly 90+%, right? A little bit off in the banks. R3 plus XDC, the only settlement token. That part stands out in itself. Do the math. Let's blow it up. This was posted earlier today. Again, shout out to Crypto Ready. Who knows? Maybe we'll have him a guest on the show someday. That'd be kind of cool. R3's ecosystem of 300 plus firms drives cross-industry collaboration. Look at this particular ecosystem. Look at this particular collaboration. By the way, this only represents XDC with some of these particular ones you see here, part of the R3 ecosystem, right? As we know, XDC in itself has a lot more going on with that, with it than just that. But since we're on the topic of R3, look how big this is. So it says ecosystem participants, part of R3 in itself. Citibank, ING, BBVA, Barclays, UBS, Wells Fargo, right? I have Wells Fargo. I have a checking account with Wells Fargo. I've had it since, probably since I was a teenager. Actually, think about it, since I was 18, all right? HSBC, Credit Suisse, Bank of America. Remember Bank of America, that particular Ripple partnership, right? So here's the thing. The R3 Corda, thing that they got going on with XDC is massive. But look at this. It says, grow your existing network through R3's member base. And you see this onboarding already, and it's continuing to happen. They have, for instance, this thing called Core dApps, increases efficiencies across your business by utilizing ready-built Core dApps, right? And on top of that, look at some of the delivery partners. It says collaborate with system integrators, talking too much today, to move your Core dApps to production, accelerate your go-to-market strategy, so on and so forth. You want to talk about infrastructure? Deploy on your technology of choice, integrate with legacy systems. This is all being done, and you have XDC at the center of it. That is huge. Some people are already asking, when though? In March? Yes, in March. How do we know that? ISO 222 mandate, March 20th. So when we see all this going on with XDC, you see it trade sideways and so on. Again, it's kind of like the same concept when you think about it with Ripple's on-demand liquidity. Why do we use that particular example? Again, It's because the utility hasn't been fully utilized. If Ripple's on-demand liquidity is going to be massive for the central banks of the world and so on, then it makes sense that XDC would be there with it, right? It consistently have it as number 4 because of the trade sector. Combine that with everything that we see with R3, it might even happen sooner than people think. But I'm not complaining about the sideways consolidation and so on. If anything, I could appreciate it because I have a better understanding that this is going to be huge. This is why we state don't sleep on your XDC. Or how about this? Don't sleep on XDC, period, because you might not even be in it yet, right? And at these particular prices, this is still technically on sale. I mean, roughly around the 3-cent area. This thing is going to absolutely blast off. Not financial advice. That's just the way I personally feel about it. Shout out again to Crypto Ready for providing this. Please give him a follow. He does great content. He covers XDC almost daily. He's a crypto educator, investor, YouTuber. He's part of the XDC family. He covers some of these other ones, right? You guys like GBEX. He covers GBEX. He covers XSP. He, obviously XLM, XRP, and so on. But these 3 are his top 3, from my understanding: XRP, XLM, and XDC. So he currently has 887 followers. His YouTube channel is doing pretty well. I think he might be even higher than us, if I'm not mistaken, like maybe around 12,000 or something like that. So he's doing really well. It'll be nice. Maybe I should reach out to him. All right. So I want to show you guys just a little bit more in regards to all this. So I saw this, and this was on actually CoinGecko. And it says, what is the XDC network? Well, we know about the network, right? But this was posted on February 9th, a few days ago. It gives you an example of how XDC is in all the middle of this. You guys are always talking about GBEX. Yesterday, we covered quite a bit in regards to EURS and so on and why that's big. Some of you guys are big on XSP, you name it, right? But, it gives new investors an outline here, which is really, really cool. But here's the thing I want to talk about real quick, and that is specifically, I think it's XDC's NFT token. Hold on a second, which is 721. It's not on this particular one, but they have XDC 721, which is similar to kind of like Quant's NFT, but built on the XDC network. I'm going to show you guys a little bit in regards to this. There's another one. So it states here that says this innovation has resulted in the world's first NFT, a single XRC20 token backed by trade finance assets being deployed on the XDC network in September 2021. Okay, that happened a while back. But the key thing here, I'm sorry, I missed that part. It states that XDC network supports all EVM compatible smart contracts, protocols, and atomic cross-chain token transfers. Also fully complies with the ISO 222 message standard and its applications in trade finance and other payment sectors. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to skip that. This is why I feel as though that you have to include the likes of XDC when we talk about this big mandate that's coming on March 20th. There's literally the proof right there, right? Because they're part of that particular messaging standard. So just because we haven't seen this thing blast off yet, that's the main thing. Once we have this implemented, I think we start seeing the start of that. Of course, they listed this out for everybody to have an idea of how this all works. Did you happen to know that on June 1st of 2022, right, back last summer, XDC Network celebrated 3 years of achievements since the launch of its mainnet back in 2019. The network itself has seen upwards, listen to this, of 372 million transactions and the creation of over 865,576 accounts with more than 12,400 smart contracts deployed on the network. Currently, the native XDC token has a market cap of roughly 500 million and a fully diluted valuation of 1.54 billion. Circulating supply of XDC is 13.81 billion out of the total 37.81 billion tokens. You could check more about it, of course, on CoinGecko. Combine that with all these other particular things. A few months ago, they launched the XDC community, which was a real positive thing. Kind of reminds me of the whole thing with Luna Classic. I know apples and oranges, but they have similar proposals that the community brings to the table. And I like seeing that because, if anything, they pass certain proposals that make sense, and it keeps us trending more. That is a good thing in itself. It says, with so many assets currently available on the network, you can head over to XDC ecosystem category on CoinGecko to check them out. I'm glad that they came out with this new column, if you will, on CoinGecko that breaks some of this down. We covered the whole thing about, Contact Gold. I think that's huge in itself. There's a lot of things that are trending with Contact Gold. Just in case you're new to this, Contact Gold token is a stable asset pegged to the price of 1 gram of pure gold, which is fully backed and redeemable for just what? Physical gold. And of course, this is done through XDC's blockchain. Really massive. Contact is registered in the United Arab Emirates and complies with the Sharia principles. I'm not exactly the biggest fan of Sharia law, but teach his own. We go further down in regards to this. They mentioned the whole thing with XSwap. I know some of you guys are really, really gung-ho about it. Let's just talk about that for a brief moment, right, before we kick into comments. So it states, if you're wondering about XSwap, like what they have mentioned here, it gets right to the point. States that XSwap protocol is an automated market maker for XRC20 tokens built on the Zenfin network. XSwap is focused on building the challenger to BSC-based PancakeSwap and Ethereum-based Uniswap. Its primary focus is to empower crypto enthusiasts with secure, fast, and resource-efficient instruments for exchanging digital assets. That in itself sounds really, really impressive, because I remember when I first came into crypto, early 2021 and so on, I was starting to become familiar with PancakeSwap, Uniswap especially, right? Those two really stood out. In the future, I guess you could state, with this whole thing with ISO 222 and so on, if we can get more of some of these particular ones to trend, that is not a bad thing to see. This thing with XSwap. I think, if anything, I didn't realize in the past that this really helps it stand out, because that's, I guess you could say, kind of like a third player coming to the table. And let's face it, guys, PancakeSwap, Uniswap, there's probably two of the biggest names in regards to DeFi. You include this XSP thing from XDC, that's big in itself. Let's talk about GBEX real quick. I know you guys are into GBEX. We, of course, covered Stasis Euro a few times. I did deep dives, US plus stablecoin. Let's talk about GBEX real quick. So it says GBEX is a fintech platform with a centralized exchange banking services, payment gateway, stablecoins, a decentralized marketplace. It offers fully regulated services for corporate and retail customers in several countries on 5 continents, integrating crypto solutions into the traditional banking system. That in itself, on the surface, sounds really cool. Of course, as we know, it's very, very cheap to buy. If I'm not mistaken, 6 or 7 zeros in a particular number, you can load up quite a bit on this. You guys have stated, and we've even looked more into this, for at least the last 90 days, has had a nice consistent increase. But yeah, there's a lot of other particular ones built on this. But anyway, I was glad to bring this to you guys because I saw this and it was a nice updated article in regards to XDC.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have not yet subscribed, do yourself a favor and subscribe for more information on the ISO 222 compliant tokens, and hit the notification bell to make sure that you are aware of the new videos when they come up. Max and I cover these ISOs, and we also have a live show every single night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tune in for that. You won't want to miss it. Thanks again, and we will see you on the next video.